what's up with it, gang? LTV Bros back in the cut to another reaction. Share with you, comment, like, and subscribe. So listen, fam, the Supreme Court took a stance on affirmative action probably about a week ago, you feel me? So I'm not gonna cap. I just heard about this actually from Cartier when I was in Houston a few days ago. So we finna do a reaction on this shit, no cap. This shit really affects everybody, no matter where you come from, your background. So we finna tap in.
Hope you are working.
Joining us now is Janae Nelson, president of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Janae, thanks for being here. I'm sorry that you have to be here to talk about this because I do think...
You know what affirmative action is, right?
She said, I'm sorry. Yeah, like...
Because they ended it. Like,
yeah.
affirmative action is done.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a very dark day for people who care about a more equitable society. But first, let me get your thoughts on what this does to the broader movement that seems to have some wind in its sails to dismantle the progress we've made as a society on having more inclusive workplaces, more inclusive schools, and generally a more inclusive society.
So before she says anything, what you think about it? Like, because me personally, bro, I don't know, bro. My stance on affirmative action, like, in school, I definitely don't think that shit should matter, fam. Like, race shouldn't even be on the application.
Fuck no.
You feel me? Like,
fuck no.
Because, like, in the workplace, it's like, okay, you know, every company now wants to be inclusive and diverse. You know, that's the thing, the big thing that you're hearing nowadays. And so, basically, bro, a lot of companies, you know, you have a better chance if you're a minority to get hired than someone who's not. You know what I'm saying? In some situations, because you're looking for diverse people for the workplace, you feel me? And so people look at that as a disadvantage, as racial profiling, and shit like that. Now, in school, I see it as a problem for the simple fact that that shit should be based off GPA, ACT, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be about how many black people go here, how many white people go here, how many... The smartest motherfuckers should go. If I run a school, fam, and I'm the dean and I'm the president, fam, I want the smartest motherfuckers at my school. I want everyone to come to my school. I want them to graduate, fam, because that looks better on the school. That's gonna make us more money. I want people to come here and shit. You feel me? So, me, I'm not gonna look at that and inclusion and diversity, you know what I'm saying, and bring someone in who has a lower GPA and lower ACT to make my school more diverse. In the workplace, like, the way I feel about it is, okay, if I was a boss, so, you feel me? Because basically what it is everybody wants to be that diversity and inclusion, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to get more people to come work for you, you feel me? It's going to better affect you in the workplace. And basically the big thing that's been going on is there's not enough black CEOs, there's not enough women in leadership, you feel me? And so companies are putting shit into place to make that more possible, more of a thing. And so people are looking at that shit as a disadvantage. And so basically the Supreme Court deaded all that shit.
Right.
Deaded all that shit.
Right.
This shit crazy, bro. But I feel like, I don't know, bro.
For me, like, all I can simply say is when, like, the whole time, like, when I think about that, I just think, like, I just don't think about color. Like, no matter what, like, if it was school, you want the best kids, right?
Right.
This nigga could be Nigerian, and this nigga could be from Beverly Hills.
Right.
They both got that GPA I want y'all to come here. I fuck with y'all. If I'm a boss, and this dude from Nigeria know how to do this, and this person from Beverly Hills know how to do this, and if I can get them to work together and make this,
right,
nigga, what is color, fam?
Right.
We're all working to feed what? A family, or what? Create a family, or what? A future, nigga. So now future got color.
So what about? I feel like where the conflict comes in would be like, okay, so we got 3.8 GPA here. 3.8 GPA here. They get the same exact. Okay, let's say everything's the same. You know,
but you can only take one.
But you can only take one.
Shit, pros and cons. If I need 2-3 interviews with y'all, I'm gonna go like that. If this nigga, if the dude from Beverly Hills presents better than the dude from Nigeria, then I gotta go with that.
But you're gonna give it equal opportunity.
I have to.
I'm ready to see what she's finna say. You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna take the rich kid who you know whose parents are paying for all his school? Or are you gonna take the Nigerian kid who just moved here and he doesn't know how his next semester is getting paid for?
type of school am I? Am I a school that provides scholarships?
You're fucking Harvard, fam.
So I can provide a scholarship. Okay, so
he,
guess what?
He don't have one. He either got one or he don't. He don't got one. This dude don't got one.
Why he don't got one if
He
he
gotta
got the
figure it out.
GPA, fam?
This is just a scenario, fam.
No,
Not
he
everybody,
ain't had this shit.
fam. Everybody GPA look like that, fam. We talking about Harvard. Your GPA look like that. You're not even getting in.
That's what I'm saying.
We can't put everybody on scholarship.
Bro, right here ain't gotta be put on.
We gotta make our bread.
Beverly got cheese.
I'm done with cuts.
Beverly got cheese.
I'm
He gonna
better.
come here if he wanna come here anyway. He got cheese. If he wants to go to Harvard, he's gonna show up at Harvard on the first day of school, my nigga. He's not. Come on.
Well, what this
Nigeria,
decision
cool.
does is largely up to so many other actors in the system and whether they will be cowed by this court's decision, whether the chilling effect that these extreme conservative groups want to spread actually takes root. We have some agency in this. Corporate America has a moral imperative. It has a business imperative to ensure that we continue to diversify the ranks of leadership in this country. We know that within 20 years, this will be a majority people of color country. We know that the consumer base will include more and more people of color. Our electorate will include more and more people of color. If we want to have a healthy, functioning, multiracial democracy, we need to make sure that we are educating people together so that they can respect one another and learn about one another. And we need to make sure that we are hiring leaders and diversifying our decision makers in corporate America who can help us meet this new evolving American democracy with some promise and hope as opposed to division and hate. I agree with you in terms of, where culture is, where consumers are at, which is obviously where business is going to be responsive. But, from a legal perspective, what are the kind of, you say we have opportunities, we have leverage. Where do you see that opportunity and that leverage given what the Supreme Court did today? So first, it's so important to recognize what this decision does, who it impacts directly and who it doesn't. So in this case, we are talking about admissions processes between two institutions, Harvard and UNC. So every college and university needs to think about their admissions process and how similar to Harvard's and UNC's it is, or how different it is, and whether, based on the interpretation of that decision, their admissions process is legal or not. So that's the first step. And those are the only entities who really are directly implicated by this decision. This does not affect corporate America. It doesn't affect recruitment efforts. It doesn't affect DEI programs. It doesn't affect any of that. To the extent that it affects it at all, it means that we need to double down on doing those things. We need to actually embrace the ability to make sure that we all have an equal opportunity and recognize that it took over a decade to get this case to actually yield the result that it did today. I gotta ask, because you mentioned DEI. I mean, that is such, it is, that diversity, equity, inclusion has become a buzzword on the right, especially. They have their knives out for it. You hear what advocates are saying, it's dominoes. This is the first one to fall. DEI is next. You have lawsuits in various states about DEI and environmental, social, corporate responsibility measures. I mean, I guess I wonder, are we being Chicken Littles about it? Or, do you think that the sort of social capital that these initiatives have and the desire to be more broadly inclusive in America, right, which is shared among a majority of Americans, can outflank what will be a concerted legal effort on the part of the right to get this stuff dismantled? Well, again, I think that if we sit back and watch it happen, it will, right? But if we actually react and say, this is the democracy we want, this is the United States that we want to embrace, if we recognize that.
I do think that inclusion and diversity is an important thing. You feel me? Especially in the workplace, because that's something that's facts. That's something that's always been harped on. There's always need to be more people of color and more women in leadership positions in corporate America. So I definitely agree with that. And then, bro, I'm curious because I don't know exactly what they was talking about as far as
I was confused a little bit.
What they ran between. I was picking up everything that's put down, but I don't know exactly what they were talking about in regards to the UNC and Harvard admissions process. So what was it? I wasn't sure if the Supreme Court maybe just looked at those two schools.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
ruled.
Was she saying them specific, like they're the only ones?
Right. He said,
what?
let's talk about who's affected directly, who's not affected, and like that. And she said Harvard and UNC's admission process. You know, if you've got a, basically she was saying like if you got a admissions process similar, basically you need to be looking at your admissions process and seeing if it's similar to Harvard or UNC's to make sure your shit is legal or not. Harvard's college admission system does not comply with the principles of the Equal Protection Clause embodied in Title V of the Civil Rights Act.
You know what's crazy?
Admissions policies at Harvard University and North Carolina violated the U.S. Constitutions of Equal Protection Clause also.
So she's saying, look at them.
Isn't Harvard primarily Asian?
I don't know.
I think Harvard has a primarily
Are they
Asian.
specifically choose an Asian?
They could be.
See what I'm saying? When I go to the casino, you know what I see? Asians. They got cheese.
Harvard and UNC's admissions programs lack sufficiently focused and measurable objectives, warranting the use of race, unavoidably employ race in a negative manner, involve racial stereotyping, and lack meaningful endpoints. Those admission programs cannot be reconciled with the guarantees of the Equal Protection Clause. So you motherfuckers is racist?
Starts at the top. I try to tell that nigga start at who making the decision, fam.
On June 29, 2023, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a historic decision in the Students for Fair Admissions, Inc. versus President and Fellows of Harvard College and Students of North Carolina, whatever, effectively ending the use of affirmative action in college admissions. In the 6-3 vote, the justices ruled that the admission programs at Harvard and UNC violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment.
Cutting this video short, y'all.
So, fam, what is they finna do? Just take race off the application?
That's what they need to do.
Or are they finna take background? Well, I mean, because you can't choose based off that shit no more. I agree with this shit,
I can
bro.
get into Harvard and be treated differently.
I agree with this shit, fam. Like, race should not fucking matter, fam. Like, you should submit your application with your motherfucking name, your fucking GPA, your ACT score, and that's it, fam. If your shit check out, in a background check.
That's
if
what I
your
was
shit
just
check out,
finna say,
you fucking
nigga.
in, fam.
That diversity is truly our strength, that it does make us safer, as President Biden said earlier today. We know that racist domestic terrorism is the #1 national security threat in this nation, white supremacist, racist terrorism. So we have to find ways to make sure that those types of harmful ideologies don't continue to take root and become a galvanizing force for evil in this country. And the only way to do that is to ensure that we're giving opportunity to everyone, that we are educating people, that we're not denying them truth and the truth about our history.
I see, bro. Although I don't think race should matter, like at the end of the day, bro, there's people at the top who, you know, they're not gonna change, you feel me? Yeah. So like the inclusion and diversity law, like shit that's set into place, and some motherfuckers have to have a certain amount of black people in leadership, a certain amount of women in leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like a certain percentage or whatever the case may be. Right.
Truth about the progress we've made, and that we have a society that it has an open, welcoming of ideas and a variety of viewpoints. That's the America that we all want to see, or that a majority of us do. But we cannot let this extreme but quite vociferous minority just eclipse the entire conversation.
Yeah, and that's the position I think
Sorry, bro, they trying to get off this shit now. Me, I watch this whole shit. Yeah, bro, this shit crazy, bro. So how you feel about this shit?
We talk. I think that shit, like I said,
You think the Supreme Court got it right or wrong?
tough.
Because I want to say they fucked up, but at the same time, like, I don't think affirmative action should be in school and shit.
That's what I'm saying.
But I do think everybody should get the same amount of opportunities and shit. But like, realistically, like, is that gonna happen without affirmative action? Like, without the shit that's put into place already, is that shit really gonna happen?
Sometimes you gotta put certain things in place for things to happen.
but she's saying like it took us 10 years to get to this point. So now if we take this shit off, like are we gonna go back in time and shit? History is known to repeat itself. You feel me? So I don't see like okay. So like my whole thing is if we never would have got these laws, shit probably would have never changed in the first place. You feel me? So I think that shit's in place for a reason type shit.
Right.
But at the same time, bro, we're gonna be able to see
you don't want to always leave it in like in the certain people's hands. You know what I'm saying? Because then there won't be no change.
We're gonna be able to see like companies and schools. You're just gonna be able to see their true colors, fam.
Right.
Like life is all about who you know, bro, not what you know, and all that shit, bro. It's about building connections and shit, bro. We've only been at 5 minutes. If we do the whole shit, this would be a 40-minute video. We gotta get off this hoe, bro.
Leave your comments below, bro.
For real, y'all. We seen that shit on affirmative action. Let us know what y'all think about it. Let us know if the Supreme Court got it right or wrong. If y'all want us to do some more videos like this, let us know in the comments. Make sure you like this bitch on your way out. Subscribe. We're gonna get it with you on the next one. OTV Bros.
Ski.
We out, gang.